Jake leaned back in his creaky chair, tapping a pen against his notepad. The dim glow of the control panel reflected in his eyes as he stared blankly at the screen. Another day, another session of routine maintenance on the Galactic Union's space station, Orion's Reach. He sighed, letting out a breath that carried the weight of boredom. "Hey, Jake. You alive in there?" called Maya, his coworker and self-proclaimed snack expert. Jake chuckled, turning towards her. "Barely. These maintenance reports are about as thrilling as watching paint dry." Maya laughed, her dark hair bouncing as she leaned into the doorway. "Come on. We've got snacks in the break room. I heard they stocked some new alien goodies today. I thought you might be interested." "Snacks? Count me in." Jake shot up from his seat, his previous lethargy forgotten. He followed Maya down the corridor, an energy bubbling up inside him. The break room was a chaos of flavors and colors. Maya rushed to the table, her eyes wide with delight. "Look, they have these Zolarian fruit bites that sparkle. And I think those are Zorite pastries. You've got to try them." Jake inspected the spread. "You know, these look amazing. But you have a knack for bringing out the weirdest stuff." Maya smirked. "That's what makes it fun. Just think about it, a taste of alien culture without even leaving the station." "Culture?" Jake raised an eyebrow but couldn't resist the allure of the peculiar snacks. He grabbed a fruit bite and took a cautious bite. "Whoa, that's surprisingly good. It's like a fruity firework in my mouth." Maya giggled, pleased with his reaction. "See? I told you. Now check these out." She handed him a Zorite pastry glistening under the light. Without hesitation, he took a bite and an explosion of creamy filling followed. "This is incredible. It's like dessert and an appetizer had a delicious baby." "Glad you're enjoying the culinary wonders of the universe," Maya said, rolling her eyes playfully. "Now focus. We have work to do." Jake nodded, though he was still distracted by the pastries. As they finished their snacks, he returned to the maintenance logs, determined to wrap things up. Just as he was about to enter some data, an alert blared across the room. His heart raced. "What now?" Maya frowned and peered at the screen. "It's a freight shipment alert. Looks like the cargo shuttle is due for inspection." "Great. Just when I was about to enjoy my break," he grumbled, standing. "It won't take long. Just a quick check of the supplies." Maya reassured him, her voice light. "Besides, maybe they'll have more snacks on board." Together, they headed to the shuttle docking bay. As the doors whooshed open, Jake caught sight of the cargo ship, a silver bullet glinting in the artificial lights. "I could totally get lost in there," Jake joked, trying to lighten the atmosphere. Maya chuckled, pushing the cargo door open. "All right, let's see what we have today." Jake stepped inside, his curiosity piquing at the sight of crates stacked haphazardly. "Hey, there's something regarding Royal Delights here," he called out, spotting a crate partially hidden behind others. "No way. You're kidding," Maya exclaimed, rushing over. Together, they pried the wooden crate open, revealing an array of shimmering delicacies and beautifully packaged goods. "Wow, this looks like it's from the royal pantry," Jake said, eyes wide. "Let's dig in," Maya suggested, but as Jake reached for a snack, he noticed something odd. A holographic projector nestled among the treats. "What's this?" He activated the device, causing a bright display to erupt before them. A hologram of a majestic palace floated above them, accompanied by music that echoed the grandeur of a royal celebration. "What is happening?" Maya asked, brows furrowing. Then words began to scroll across the projection. "You are cordially invited to the royal wedding of Princess Lyria of Zolera." Jake stared, mouth agape. "Wait, what? We just opened the wrong crate, didn't we?" No, no. This is huge," Maya exclaimed, mesmerized. "A royal wedding? Who even gets to see something like this?" Jake armied the back of his neck, a blend of embarrassment and excitement churning inside him. "We've got to write this off as a clerical error and shut it down before we get in trouble." "Are you kidding? This could be our ticket to something incredible. Imagine us sharing the food, the culture, not to mention the stories." Jake shrugged, wavering between the thrill of adventure and a sense of duty. "Sure, but you know that would mean we'd have to actually go, right?" "Exactly. Let's go." Maya couldn't contain her enthusiasm. "Think of how amazing it'll be." Jake sighed, glancing back at the hologram, feeling the pull of the unknown. "All right, but just for the snacks." Maya's laughter echoed again. "That's the spirit. Let's rally the team and get prepped. I bet they'll love this. As they exited the shuttle, the hologram faded behind them. Little did Jake know, this impulsive decision would lead him to a world beyond his imagination, filled with flavors, cultures, and perhaps something deeper than snacks. Let's do this, he said with a newfound determination, hearts racing with the promise of adventure ahead. Just remember, when we win over royalty with our charming personalities and culinary critiques, I'm claiming first dibs on the finger foods. Maya teased, nudging him playfully as they walked down the corridor. Jake chuckled, his mind swirling with possibilities as the doors to a connection yet unformed slipped open in his mind. Who knew that a simple mission could spiral into something so splendid? A world awaited, just out of reach, and he was ready to dive in. With snacks in one hand and a universe ahead of him, Jake felt a spark of excitement, an inkling that life was about to take an extraordinary turn. Chapter 2: The Royal Fanfare. Jake and Maya stood side by side in the docking bay, staring at the glowing hologram that promised a royal wedding on Zalera. The air buzzed with anticipation. Are you sure we should do this? Jake at the back of his neck, uncertainty creeping in. What if someone finds out we crashed a royal invitation? Maya rolled her eyes. Come on, Jake. This is an opportunity. Besides, what's the worst that could happen? We show up, eat some great food, and leave. Easy peasy. Right? Easy until we find ourselves being chased by royal guards or something, he said, a half-smile creeping onto his face. Maya grinned widely, her excitement infectious. All right, let's make a plan. First, we need outfits. Outfits? You think I have something royal in my closet? Jake laughed, gesturing toward his t-shirt and cargo shorts. Oh, don't worry. I have a few connections, she said, winking mischievously. Within an hour, they found themselves outside a shop that specialized in intergalactic wear. The colorful neon lights flickered above the entrance, illuminating the bustling street filled with various beings. Maya pulled Jake inside, and they were greeted by an enthusiastic shopkeeper, Zira, with blue skin and 8 eyes. Welcome. Looking for something special? Zira exclaimed, her excitement palpable. Yes. We have a royal wedding to attend. Maya declared, beaming. You're in luck. I have just the things. Zira waved her hands, directing them toward racks adorned with vibrant fabrics. Jake turned to Maya, raising an eyebrow. You sure we're not going to stick out like sore thumbs? Trust me. We look fabulous. Right, Zira? Oh, absolutely. Everyone will be captivated. Zira nodded enthusiastically. She began pulling outfits, draping them over Jake and Maya, each fabric shimmering with hues of color and texture. As Zira delved into explanations of various outfits, Jake found himself being strapped into an extravagant outfit that glimmered like a starry night. Whoa, how do I look? He asked, twisting in front of the mirror, feeling simultaneously silly and strangely dapper. Dude, you look amazing. You'll be the hit of the wedding. Now, we just need to find something for me, Maya said, flipping through racks and holding up a dazzling gown. Careful. That looks expensive, Jake warned, half laughing as Maya held the gown against herself. What's a royal wedding without a little flair? Besides, I have a good feeling about this, she replied. After a whirlwind of choices, they emerged from the shop adorned in clothes that screamed elegance despite their initial trepidation. What now? Jake asked, glancing at his watch. We catch the shuttle. Maya exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. I can't wait to meet some royalty. Moments later, the two friends boarded a shuttle bound for Zalera. Inside, they were accompanied by other attendees, each exuding a mix of excitement and somber elegance. You think anyone will notice us? Jake whispered, adjusting his collar. They're too busy scheming for attention to notice the snacks, Maya quipped, nudging him playfully. Maybe I should hand out snacks at the reception, then. He laughed, but his mind was racing with questions about what awaited them at the wedding. As they arrived at the royal palace, Jake couldn't help but stare in awe. The architecture was breathtaking, with soaring towers and intricate designs that seemed to dance in the light. They disembarked and were greeted by a grand vista filled with intricate decorations and waiting dignitaries. Wow, this is something else, Jake said, his voice trailing off. Maya clasped his arm. We're actually here. Look at everyone. And, oh, the snacks. She pointed excitedly toward tables laden with colorful dishes. Let's not forget why we came, he replied, grinning as they approached the spread of cosmic delicacies. Agreed. Let's sample as much as we can, Maya said, her eyes gleaming. As they delved into the feast, Jake started his mission of taste testing everything. What's this, a nebula nibbler? Tastes like cotton candy dipped in stardust, he said, savoring the explosion of flavor. Maya laughed, moving on to a dish that resembled tiny glowing fruit. These are glimmerberries. I love these. You have to try them. Jake obliged, his mouth full. So good. But do you feel that? There's a lot of eyeing going on here. What's the deal? Probably because we're the only humans here, Maya said, waving a hand dismissively. Let them stare. We're here for a purpose. Just then, the crowd parted and Princess Lyria herself appeared, radiant and ethereal in her royal attire. Jake's breath caught in his throat, the beauty of her presence drawing him in like a moth to a flame. Look at her. Maya whispered, awestruck. Yeah, Jake replied, equally impressed by her confidence. Wow. As Lyria approached the table, every eye was trained on her magnificence. With each step, confidence radiated from her, yet she exuded warmth. An air of mystery surrounded her. Suddenly, their eyes met. For a brief moment, the bustling noise of the crowd faded. Jake felt something stir in him, a blend of amazement and warmth. Should we? Jake stammered, unsure of what to do. You think we should say hi? Maya nudged him. Of course. Let's go. Gathering his courage, Jake walked up alongside Maya. Hello, Your Highness. He fumbled his words but managed a polite bow. Lyria tilted her head with curiosity. Greetings, travelers from beyond. I'm pleased to see new faces. Her voice was melodic, enchanting Jake further. Thank you for inviting us, he said, clearing his throat. I'm Jake and this is Maya. We're here, to enjoy your incredible spread of snacks. I mean wedding. He winced, cursing himself inwardly. Maya stifled a laugh. We love the preparations. The food is out of this world. I'm glad you are enjoying it, Lyria replied, her smile widening. The variety is a testament to our many allies. Are these your first tastes of Zalera cuisine? Absolutely. And it's amazing, Jake said, gesturing back toward the table laden with dishes. Lyria's eyes sparkled with interest. Then you must try the Zerthian tart. It pairs well with the glimmerberries. Will do. Maya chimed in. Jake studied Lyria, charmed by her enthusiasm. So, what's your favorite dish here? Typically, I favor the celestial crustaceans, but I find the nebula nibbler fascinating. Lyria's gaze was penetrating but welcoming. I appreciate people who enjoy the culinary arts. Count me in. Jake replied, connecting with her passion. As they chatted, Jake felt a growing warmth in both their expressions. He sensed that their conversation strayed beyond just food, touching on upbringing and dreams. So, what do humans usually eat? Lyria asked with genuine curiosity. Interesting question, he said, a smile creeping onto his face. We have everything from trips to local diners to fancy meals. But honestly, snacks range from chips to cookies, stuff that's good for late-night cravings. Cookies? Now that intrigues me, Lyria replied thoughtfully. Maya sensed the connection and grinned, nudging Jake subtly. Well, if you'd like, we could organize a taste-testing picnic sometime, she proposed. Or simply trade recipes, Lyria suggested. This exchange made Jake's heart race. The opportunity to explore the unfamiliarity of another's world was detailed in every word, creating a spark of excitement he hadn't anticipated. With the whispers of the crowd blending into the background, Jake's heart pounded. In that moment, amidst the grandeur of the royal wedding, he felt something unfold, an unexpected thread bridging worlds wrapped in flavors and shared experiences. Let's toast together, Lyria said, raising a crystal glass. To connections and new friendships. To new adventures. Jake echoed, raising his glass, surprised at how natural it felt amidst the elegance and spectacle of a regal affair. As laughter enveloped them, Jake couldn't help but think that some things were simply worth celebrating, even if they began with just a craving for snacks. Chapter 3, Under the Stars. The grand hall of the Zalarian palace was alive with shimmering lights and vibrant chatter. Guests mingled, their laughter filling the air while an ensemble of musicians played a melody that danced around the room. Jake stood at the edge of the festivities, still somewhat in awe of the elegant grandeur. Beside him, Maya was practically bouncing with excitement. Look at that dress, she exclaimed, pointing to a dignitary adorned in flowing garments that seemed to catch every ray of light. Can you believe how beautiful it is? Jake chuckled, leaning against the wall. I may not know fashion, but I know that's definitely not something you'd find in a department store on Earth. Yeah, we need a tailor like Zira back home, Maya replied, eyes sparkling. You think she'll make custom outfits for every occasion? Only if we convince her to be our best friend, Jake teased, taking a small bite of a nebula nibbler he had in hand. You think they'll serve pizza at the next royal event? Unless the royal family is holding out on us, I think we might have to wait a while for that, Maya laughed, then leaned closer as she spotted Lyria across the room. Oh look, there's Princess Lyria. Let's go. I want to talk to her more about that recipe trade. Jake felt a jolt of anticipation and nervousness at the idea. You sure? I don't want to interrupt her. Trust me, she'd love to see us. Plus, this might be the only royal wedding we can crash, Maya said, nudging him forward. With a deep breath, Jake followed Maya as they made their way through the crowd. As they approached Lyria, her radiant smile brightened even more. Jake! Maya! Lyria exclaimed, her eyes sparkling like stars. I'm delighted to see you both again. Have you been enjoying the festivities? Absolutely. The food has been incredible, Maya replied, clearly thrilled to be chatting with royalty. And your guests are so welcoming. Lyria's expression shifted slightly as if she was scrutinizing the crowd. I'm glad to hear that. It's important to me that everyone feels at home. But I notice a few faces that aren't as welcoming. It's strange to see some of my guests undervalue friendship in favor of status. Jake detected the hint of concern in her voice. Is everything all right? He asked. Your presence here is a breath of fresh air, Lyria responded, her tone softening. I must admit, some of the traditionalists are hesitant about change. Change can be a good thing, Jake remarked, feeling a surge of confidence. I mean, look at us. A human and a princess bonding over snacks. Lyria laughed, her laughter like music. Indeed. A perfect example. But I wish more would embrace such connections. Maya stepped forward, her enthusiasm shining. Why not throw a picnic? A gathering that highlights both Solarian and human food. Lyria's eyes lit up. That's a lovely idea. A celebration of cultures. Jake chimed in, we could even bring some Earth snacks. Who wouldn't want to try pizza or burgers? Now you're speaking my language, Maya said. Lyria pondered briefly, then clapped her hands together. Let's make it happen. I'll send invitations to my friends. This will be wonderful. A sense of excitement filled the air. Jake felt a growing bond with Lyria, fueled by their shared enthusiasm. Just then, an ornate clock chimed in the hall, signaling that it was time for the next part of the wedding ceremony. Lyria's expression shifted back to formality, but her gaze remained warm. Ah, the first dance. Will you accompany me? She asked, extending her hand toward Jake. Me? He stammered. I mean, I'd love to, but I'm not exactly a good dancer. Neither am I, but that's not the point, Lyria said, her eyes glinting with mischief. The point is to enjoy the moment. With a nod of resignation and excitement, Jake took her hand. Maya followed close behind, her enthusiasm barely contained. As they stepped onto the dance floor, Jake surveyed the crowd around them. He could feel eyes on him, and the pressure rose for a moment. What if I trip and fall? He whispered to Lyria. Then let's make it a spectacular fall, she replied, laughter in her voice. She guided him into a gentle twirl, showing a surprising grace. Okay, I can manage this, he said as he began to mimic her, slightly off balance but following her lead. The music swelled, and Jake found himself caught up in the rhythm. Lyria matched his movements with unexpected finesse, and soon they were gliding across the floor, laughter spilling between them. That wasn't so bad, Jake said, his confidence growing as he let the music guide him. See? Just let go and enjoy it, she replied, her eyes sparkling. As the song reached its climax, Jake felt a deepening connection between them, a shared moment of joy and spontaneity. As they danced, Jake leaned closer, his heart racing. I really didn't expect to find a friendship like this here. I didn't either, but I'm so glad we did, Lyria said, her voice softening. Just then, the music shifted, transitioning into a slow, melodic piece that took the atmosphere of the room to a new level. Okay, this one might be a challenge, Jake whispered nervously. Just follow my lead, Lyria said, adjusting their position, her hands resting lightly on his shoulders as they moved closer. Let the music flow through you. He felt her warmth radiate, every moment hanging. Led, her eyes locking onto his. Sometimes it's the unexpected moments that bring the most joy. Like dancing with a human in a royal wedding. Jake couldn't help but chuckle. And I guess eating snacks too? Absolutely, she replied with a grin. As the song progressed, they each savored the moments, losing track of time. Jake felt a pull he hadn't known before, an attraction growing quietly but powerfully between them. You know, he ventured, I came to this wedding thinking it would just be about the food, but I'm realizing it's so much more. Me too, Lyria said softly. It's about connections, exploration, and mutual understanding. With the lights twinkling around them, Jake leaned in slightly closer, heartbeat racing. Maybe we both needed this. As the music faded, Lyria stepped back slightly, her cheeks flushed. Thank you for this dance, Jake. It means more than I can express. Honestly, the pleasure was all mine, Jake replied, wishing the moment could stretch on forever. As the song faded entirely, the crowd erupted into applause, breaking the spell. Lyria gently squeezed Jake's hand before stepping back, her expression brightening. Now, for the next part of the evening. Shall we have a toast? She announced, raising her voice over the chatter. The guests gathered around once more, filling their glasses. Lyria looked at Jake, her eyes sparkling. Here's to new connections. Jake raised his glass, heart full of anticipation. And to snacks, he added, eliciting laughter from the crowd. In that moment, Jake felt he had stepped into a world he never expected to navigate, drawn closer to an extraordinary friendship that transcended boundaries. The night had transformed from a mundane event into a celebration of everything wonderful about being alive and embracing the unknown. As they prepared for the next adventure, Jake could only smile, eager to see where this unexpected path might lead them. Chapter 4, A Twist of Fate. The atmosphere in the grand hall shifted as the wedding festivities ebbed and flowed. Jake felt a swell of excitement and calmness, a combination that made him almost float. Lyria stood beside him, her presence a magnetic force he couldn't resist. I can't believe how wonderful this has been, Jake said, a genuine smile gracing his face. The food, the music, everything is beyond what I expected. Lyria laughed, her eyes sparkling in the ambient light. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It makes all the preparation worth it. But it still feels surreal to have guests from Earth joining us. Most of my friends are rather traditional. Hey, diverse parties are the best parties. Jake replied, shaking his head with a grin. I'm just surprised they're not throwing us out for being here. Guess snacks have diplomatic power. Snacks are universal. Maya chimed in, joining their conversation. They know that, just look at how many dishes we've had tonight. Lyria laughed again, her laughter ringing through the hall. I do love how passionate you are about your snacks. Perhaps we should organize a food festival. You're speaking my language now, Jake said, heart racing at the idea of more adventures with Lyria. As they caught up, a familiar figure marched toward them, Corian a high-ranking advisor known for his staunch adherence to tradition. He was tall with a severe expression that made Jake's stomach twist slightly. Your Highness, he began, the tone of his voice dripping with formality. May I have a moment of your time? Of course, Corian. What is it? Lyria asked, a hint of trepidation creeping into her voice. Your invitation to human diplomats is troubling for some among the council, Corian said, glancing briefly at Jake and Maya. There are murmurs about you associating with a lower class. Jake's heart sank as he regarded Corian's serious demeanor. We came here for the celebration, not politics, he muttered, irritation rising in him. Lyria sighed, her expression shifting. Corian, they are my guests and friends. You know I believe in unity, don't you? Unity is one thing, but friendship requires understanding. You might be risking more than you think, Corian replied sternly. Honestly, this kind of talk is exhausting, Maya chimed in, stepping closer to Jake, her voice steady. We came to enjoy the company and the food. Isn't that what this celebration is about? Corian eyed her with scrutiny but softened just slightly. This is not merely a gathering. It is a union of families, cultures. And what's a wedding without joy? Without laughter? Jake interjected, his frustration bubbling. The world doesn't revolve around shiftiness. It revolves around connection, and if that offends some people, then maybe they need to rethink their perspectives. Jake. Lyria placed a gentle hand on his arm, but he could see the spark of admiration in her eyes. Corian raised an eyebrow, an expression that mingled with disbelief and challenge. You speak boldly for a human. And I'd do it again if it means standing up for what's right. Jake shot back, realizing he was getting too heated but feeling empowered by the moment. Enough, Lyria said firmly, her voice resonating through the hall. This night should not overshadow our purpose for gathering. We will not be divided on this occasion. Let us enjoy the moment we have. With that, Corian aged slightly, glancing between the three of them. I will watch this situation closely. Understand what you are doing. As Corian turned away, Lyria exhaled, tightening her grip on Jake's arm momentarily. I'm sorry about that. He's tough, but I appreciate your support. Don't worry about it, Jake replied, his previous tension easing a little. A few grumbles won't keep us from enjoying ourselves. Maya grinned, her confidence returning. Onward. Where are the desserts? I need something sugary to lift my spirits. Lyria led the way toward another table laden with an assortment of cakes and pastries. This should be perfect. You must try the celestial cream puff, it's a crowd favorite. Yes. I'm all in. Jake responded, thinking of all the snacks he could devour. As they filled their plates, snacks in hand, they chatted about little things, among them Earth culture and Zalera's traditions. The connection between them grew deeper, laughter bubbling over as they exchanged funny stories. Once, during a family gathering, my cousin tried to impress everyone by making a salad and mixed up salt with sugar. It was hilarious. Jake recounted, laughter erupting from the trio. No. Lyria exclaimed, her hands clasping over her mouth. What happened next? He didn't take a single bite. He was just so excited, proudly serving it until my aunt took a mouthful and nearly spat it out. Maya joined in, wiping tears from her eyes due to laughter. Oh gods, Lyria said, holding her stomach from laughing too hard. I can't believe something like that could happen. Trust me, there are endless stories, Jake said, grinning widely. And I'm sure you have plenty of your own that could top that. As the laughter faded, they found a quieter corner of the hall, away from the activities. The night sky peeked through grand windows, a cascade of stars twinkling above, illuminating their surroundings. What a view, Jake marveled, gazing up. The stars felt closer here, more alive, reflecting on the deep connections he had forged since arriving. I love the stars, they remind me of possibilities, Lyria mused softly. I often wonder what lies beyond them. On Earth, we view the stars as dreams waiting to be chased, Jake replied, feeling a warmth in his chest. Every time I look at them, I feel like anything is possible. Lyria turned to him, her eyes catching the distant light. You're quite philosophical, Jake. Just a guy who values the little things. Anyway, I'm honored to be part of something like this, he said, shooting her a grateful smile. I gotta thank you for sharing this moment with me. You don't need to thank me. Lyria smiled. I'm the one grateful to have you here. You bring lightness that is rare among my people. For a moment, their gazes held, an unspoken understanding lingering between them. Jake felt something shifting inside, a pull that didn't just want snacks but something deeper. Shall we? Jake asked, gesturing to the re-emerging festivities. Shall we what? Lyria prompted, curious. Dance again? He smiled warmly, inviting her to join him. Oh, I'd love that. Her eyes sparkled again, and she took his hand, leading him back toward the dance floor. As they moved together in the gentle rhythm of the music, Jake felt a sense of freedom wash over him. The previous tension melted away, replaced by a playful connection amidst the growing crowd. I could get used to this, he said, twirling Lyria, her laughter bringing joy that enveloped them both. And I could get used to you around. Lyria remarked, a playful glint in her eyes. The night continued to unfold around them, laughter ringing through the air while friendships bloomed in the spaces between words. Jake couldn't shake the growing realization that this night, spurred by an unexpected invitation and a craving for snacks, had become something extraordinary. As the stars twinkled above and friendships deepened, Jake felt the adventure unfurling before him, eager to see what tomorrow would bring. Chapter 5, New Beginnings. The sun rose over the lush landscape of Zalera, spilling its golden rays onto the royal palace, casting a warm glow over the courtyard. Jake stretched, feeling a mix of excitement and grogginess. His mind raced back to the previous night's festivities, the laughter, the dancing, and that undeniable connection with Princess Lyria. He tossed off the covers and hopped out of bed, a grin spreading across his face. Today's the day, he muttered to himself, the lingering taste of celestial cream puffs still fresh in his memory. Maya burst into his room, her exuberance barely contained. Jake, you have to see this. There's going to be a morning gathering in the garden. Lyria wants us to join. Now? Jake asked, quickly throwing on a casual outfit. What's the occasion? I think she wants to plan that picnic. This is our chance. Maya replied, her enthusiasm contagious. Right? We can show them how to make a real sandwich. Jake shot back, trying to match her energy as they rushed out of the door. As they entered the garden, the air felt crisp and fresh, filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. Lyria stood by a large table covered with vibrant arrangements of fruits, pastries, and exotic drinks that glistened in the morning light. Good morning, my friends. Lyria called out, her smile radiant. I hope you're ready for a day of planning. Good morning, Your Highness. Maya replied, and Jake couldn't help but notice the twinkle in Lyria's eye as she regarded them. Please, just Lyria. No need for titles among friends, she said, waving her hand dismissively. Looks like you've been busy, setting all this up. Jake remarked, glancing at the splendid spread. Did you prepare all this yourself? Most of it. I wanted to incorporate both Earth and Zalera elements, Lyria said, gesturing to a colorful platter filled with fruit that glimmered like jewels. But I could use your help for the picnic. I need ideas. What would make it special for your people? Anything savory would be a hit, Jake said, diving into a Zorite pastry. We love hearty comfort food. Think burgers, sandwiches, even tacos. Get creative. Maya clapped her hands. And let's make sure to have dessert. You can't have a picnic without sweets. Lyria's eyes sparkled with anticipation. Wonderful. We'll create a menu that bounces between our cultures. I already have a few recipes in mind. Let's start brainstorming. Jake encouraged, feeling a surge of excitement. It's going to be an amazing event. As they dove into discussions about menu items, Jake couldn't shake the feeling that something significant was budding between him and Lyria. The energy crackled in the air as they traded ideas, laughter weaving seamlessly into their conversations. After a while, Lyria stood, placing her delicate hands on the table. How about we split the menu? You can take care of Earth's specialties while I handle the Zolarian dishes. We can meet back here to finalize everything tomorrow. Sounds good. I'm ready for the challenge, Jake replied, nodding emphatically. I'll step up my game. Maya added, enthusiasm radiating from her. This is going to be a hit. Just you wait. Then we must plan the picnic for the stars, Lyria said, a hint of mischief in her eyes. We could use the shimmering lights to create a magical atmosphere. Starry sky for the win. Jake grinned, feeling a moment of giddiness. This is going to be more than just a picnic, it's going to be a feast for the senses. As they made their way out of the garden, Jake found himself walking alongside Lyria. So, what do Zolarians do for fun when they're not throwing royal weddings? He asked, curious. Lyria laughed lightly, twirling a flower in her fingers. We have many traditions. One of my favorites is a festival that celebrates the stars. We gather to watch the constellations, tell stories, and share food. That sounds incredible, Jake said, captivated by the idea. Do you think we could do something like that during the picnic? Absolutely, Lyria replied, her excitement echoing his. It would be a wonderful way to bring everyone together. Perfect, Jake exclaimed. You could teach us some of your stories and we can share ours. It'll be a fusion of cultures. Their eyes met, something unspoken lingered there, a shared connection that felt both exhilarating and a little dangerous. Speaking of stories, do you have one about that elaborate gown you wore last night? Jake teased, drawing her attention away from the moment. Oh, my gown? Lyria chuckled, wrapping her arms around herself playfully. There's a story behind it. It was designed by our finest artisans and took several weeks to complete. It's woven from the silk of the Giraffera, a creature only found in the northern mountains. Giraffera? Sounds like a legendary creature, he said, leaning closer, genuinely curious. Very much so. It's said to bring good luck if sighted, she explained, her expression dancing with whimsy. That's why I wore it for the wedding. I wanted to bring luck to the union. Your dress certainly brought magic to the night, Jake said, feeling a warmth fill the space between them. And good food, of course. Lyria's eyes sparkled with mirth. Who knew lucky dresses could lead to a picnic? Just then, Maya interrupted. Hey you two, I know we're planning a whole event, but can we take a moment for some fun? We have to celebrate after all our hard work. Celebration sounds great, Jake agreed. Any ideas? How about we organize a mini competition? A little friendly challenge between the three of us, Maya suggested, her energy infectious. What do you have in mind? Lyria asked. A cooking challenge, Maya exclaimed, her eyes bright. Let's see who can prepare the best version of our chosen dish for the picnic. I'm in, Jake said immediately, excitement coursing through him. As long as there's a prize in the end, we'll definitely have a reward. Lyria laughed, the idea igniting a spark of camaraderie among them. Early the following morning, they gathered in the palace kitchen, a space adorned with unique appliances from various worlds. Maya waved her hand dramatically, gesturing to the setup. Welcome to the inaugural cooking competition. Jake eyed the kitchen, grinning. Let's do this. What's the challenge? We each pick a dish we think represents our culinary skills. When the timer goes off, we compare our creations. Maya explained, her determination apparent. Sounds fair, Lyria agreed, clapping her hands. Shall we showcase our favorites? Absolutely. I'll make my grandma's special burger recipe, Jake decided, determination flooding his voice. It's mouth-watering and will showcase Earth's flavors. Great choice. I'll create my version of the celestial crustaceans, Lyria added excitedly. They're a delicacy and I want to show you their full potential. Looks like I'm left with dessert, Maya said, scratching her head. I'm going to whip up my version of the Nebula Nibbler. It's going to be spectacular. Enough talking, let's get to cooking, Jake declared, adrenaline already pumping through him. As they split into their sections, laughter filled the kitchen. Jake carefully followed his grandmother's recipe, feeling the nostalgia wash over him while he shaped patties and seasoned them just right. With each step, he found solace in the familiar, realizing how much he was enjoying cooking alongside Lyria and Maya. Laughter and friendly banter echoed around him, adding fuel to his enthusiasm. Jake, don't burn the kitchen down, Maya shouted from across the room, a teasing grin on her face. Ha, very funny. Just wait till I flip these burgers, he shouted back, a playful tone in his voice. Time passed, and the judges leaned against the counter, eager for the culinary showdowns. As Jake plated his burgers, he took pride in the sight. Time's up, Lyria exclaimed. With an air of competitive spirit, the three revealed their creations. Jake presented beautifully stacked burgers, while Lyria offered a stunning platter of celestial crustaceans that shimmered invitingly. Maya unveiled an eye-catching stack of colorful pastries, each with a flickering glow. Wow! Lyria smiled, examining them all. These look incredible. The judging commenced as they sampled each dish. Thoughts flowed freely. Jake, your burger is cooked perfectly and the seasoning is on point, Lyria remarked, chewing thoughtfully. Maya nodded, a mischievous grin on her face. But you can't beat my pastry's presentation. Jake couldn't help but let out a laugh. Perhaps the taste will decide this? In the end, they settled around the table, laughter carrying them through the challenges of the day, sharing their culinary triumphs and surprises with open minds. As Jake took another bite of his burger, he felt a warmth cross through him, embracing the magic of the moment. All right, Lyria started, leaning back, satisfaction evident on her face. This might be the best event I've ever contributed to, and I wouldn't change it for anything, Jake replied, his heart swelling with happiness. Maya raised her glass, her brow raised in mock seriousness. To wonderful food, unforgettable memories, and blossoming friendships. Jake and Lyria clinked glasses with her, echoing the toast. To new beginnings, Jake added, feeling a sense of belonging he hadn't anticipated. As they laughed and shared stories, Jake realized that he had found more than just a connection to Zalera and its culture. The bonds they were forging would reach beyond this picnic, weaving into a tapestry of shared experiences as they ventured into the unknown together.